What's going on, guys? Sitting here with Tyler Small, coming to you with some advice on the invite, the approach, the key to the vault. We've got some great notes written down here. We're taking some of Tyler's most important topics and some of my most important topics, and we're compiling them together for a super invite video. And I think some of the underlying factors of the invite are some of the most important. I'm also very excited to share this video because everyone knows that if you can invite properly to check out the products or the business, you're much more likely to have a potential new customer, a potential new business partner. So some underlying factors are your intentions. I think when sharing the product, it's important to know the value of the product and familiarize yourself with a couple testimonials so you have something to leverage. It's about taking the pressure off yourself and telling a story about something else, telling the story of the Veo products, telling the story of the Veo business model. It's about leverage. So understand your intentions in piquing somebody's interest and in inviting, and the approach need to be right. People can sense belief and intention like a dog can sense fear. You know when your friend is texting you about needing something from you. You know when your friend's calling you about needing something from you. So I would encourage highly checking your intentions. Be composed. Have good posture on the phone. Don't say whatever you need to say to get them to show up, and understand that you have the value. Don't chase people. If they're giving you excuses, don't worry about it. Don't feel like you're obligated to answer anybody's questions. You're not. You have the value at the end of the day, and you don't have to give it to anybody that you don't want to. And most importantly, be yourself. Don't try to be anybody that you're not. Feel free to model somebody who's massively successful like Tyler. He's got some great invite material. But be yourself most of all. Don't say anything you wouldn't normally say.
Awesome. On top of that, guys, kind of going off of that, there are a few things that I wanted to hit on before I get into the different scenarios you might find yourself in when introducing your family member or friend to the Veo business or product. And those are 6 different things, guys, that I encourage everyone to keep in mind when inviting. Anton kind of mentioned this first one. Know who you're talking to, right, with intentions. You have to understand your audience so that you can figure out how to cater your invite to them, maintaining the best intentions, having their best interest in mind. Guys, being excited, confident, like he said, having belief in what you're doing is really important as well, because people are going to gravitate toward that naturally. Being positive and being confident radiates off of you, and people can sense it. Like he mentioned, with intention, people can feel that, they can sense that. So it's really important that you're excited about what you're doing. And if you have a full understanding, a true understanding of what you're doing, it's really easy to get excited about it. Right. The next 2 things, guys, kind of go hand in hand. Having urgency and being vague, right? You want to be in a rush. You want to, sound as if you've got a lot going on. Sound as if your time is valuable. You don't have time to discuss the details over the phone, and be vague with it all at the same time, where your goal is not to give them the whole movie during the invite. It's to simply give them the preview. We say stick by the 3 Ps, right? Peak interest, pass to upline, and then have them present. Guys, so being urgent and being vague is important. You don't want to dig yourself into a hole where you're giving them too many details. They start asking questions, become skeptical, and you can't get yourself out of that. Be exclusive, guys, and I'm going to touch on this in a second. And then lastly, make it a statement. It comes back to your confidence. Be bold, make it a statement. Don't leave it up to a question unless, of course, you're asking them a direct question. But it shouldn't sound uncertain. But the 3 scenarios you're going to find yourselves in, and I'm going to kind of fly through this, guys. Scenario number 1 is approaching someone you know really well. You're going to initiate the conversation. You're going to clear their schedule immediately. What do you have going on tonight at 6? What do you have going on Saturday at noon? If they're busy, great. What are you doing immediately after that? Free up their schedule. Hey, listen, a few friends and I recently partnered with a startup. There's opportunity for the right people to get involved, and I think we can play a major role in where this thing goes. It may or may not be for you. That's a key line. But since you're free, blank, reference that their time, that they're free, that you've already figured out, let's get together so I can fill you in. Then next, you'll counter any objections they have, then you'll confirm the meeting. When I say confirm the meeting, that comes back to being exclusive. Listen, can I count on you being there Saturday at noon for the call or at Starbucks, wherever it is you're meeting them? Great. If anything comes up, life gets in the way, I know it can happen. Just make sure to let me know There's a few other people I have in mind that I may want to share this with instead. So being exclusive, guys, your time is valuable. What you have isn't for everyone. You thought of them because of, a certain reason, and you need them to know that if it's not them, it's going to be someone else. It's not just for anyone. Scenario number 2, approaching someone you haven't spoken to in a while. You're going to initiate the conversation all the same, but with that, before you you clear their schedule, you're going to want to just catch up and build rapport. It's important to be genuine, like you mentioned, with your intention. Don't ask about their dog if you don't care about their dog. They'll know that something's up, something's weird. If you want to see how they've been, see what they're up to, see how their family's been, if you genuinely care, then that's awesome. But again, they'll sense that. So if you want to kind of just get into it and invite, right away, do that. If you really want to catch up and see how they've been, do that, and it'll make a big difference. But something, you might want to say something along these lines. I reached out because a few friends and I recently partnered with a startup. Right now, there's opportunity for the right people to get involved, and I thought of you because blank. And this is where you'll implement the genuine compliment. Why'd you think of them, right? Or filling the need. Maybe you talked to them a while back. They had 2 jobs and wanted to get out of one, or maybe that they're really struggling, because they're in school and they don't have time for a job, but they're struggling to pay bills, or they're struggling to, whatever the case may be. Find a need that they have. Maybe they have some type of health condition that you think one of our products might help them with. So finding a need to fill with them, making it specific to them. Again, know your audience. It may or may not be for you, but let's catch up, and you can take a quick look at it. When are you free this week? So that's when you're clearing the schedule. Again, counter objections, set, confirm the meeting. Lastly, guys, the last scenario you might find yourself in is when you're strictly approaching customers, and that's a product invite. And there's two types of invites you can do here. First one's pretty simple. I'm working with a startup to help them launch new products and grow their brand. I think you, of all people, would find their products really interesting. When can we link up so you can try the products? I'd love to get your feedback. Simple, right? Really laid back, nonchalant. Number 2 is more direct. You're asking for the sale. I'm working with a startup company to help them launch new products and grow their brand. I think you, of all people, would find their products really interesting. If I sent you to our site, will you tell me which product appeals to you or interests you the most? Right? And lastly, guys, you're going to ask, once they get back to you with whatever product it is, it'd be a huge help for me if you tried the product for a month and gave me honest feedback. Can you do that for me? Hard sale, guys, or hard ask, I should say, and close the sale. So with that, I'm going to throw it back over to Anton just to touch on a couple things and counter some objections.
Third scenario on the product approach. I mentioned it briefly, and I know this is something that me and Tyler have talked about a lot, is facts tell and stories sell. And if you know somebody personally and you're sharing the product with them, and you know somebody else who has a testimonial to a product like Think, or a product like Melt, or a product like Drive, somebody who has a testimonial is great to leverage. Hey man, I recently got involved with a startup company, and one of my good friends is having great success with his focus with this new product called Think, and I know that that's something that you might really be interested in. When can I get some of this stuff in your hands? And then right there, you provided enough value for them. That's one of my favorite parts of the invite, is providing value for people. And it's some common objections you'll get in going through this whole process. People, they like to know all the details. They want to see the whole movie, like Tyler said, but without really going to the movies. And they'll ask you something along the lines of, what is it? And when you're inviting in the first place, being urgent is helpful here, because you have somewhere to be and you already have an excuse or a reason to get out of all the questions they're about to ask. So some answers to what is it. I'll explain everything when we talk in detail. Like I mentioned, I had to call you, but I'm on my way into the gym right now. It's called Vea. You probably won't find much online since it's so new. You could kind of joke and be like, Vea Natural, real quick. They'll probably go online and try and find some information, and most likely won't be able to find some. Some people might ask something, very skeptical individuals might ask, is this some pyramid scheme or scam? Some answers to that could be, no. Is that what you're looking for? Answer B, far from it. Don't worry, I'll explain when we talk. Answer C, not at all. Do you really think I'd try to get you involved in something like that? Different answers apply to different levels of acquaintanceship with these individuals. Another excuse might be, I don't think I have the time, I'm really busy right now. And this is where you can really leverage the value you're creating for that individual. Oh, I guess you weren't serious about finding a way out of your part-time job. I guess that you weren't serious about getting into a new car, paying off your student loans, making an extra couple $100 a month. I guess that's something that's not for you. And here we have written down that then this is perfect for you. After you look at this, it'll probably be something you'll want to make more time for. Another excuse common is, send me some info and I'll get back to you. And this is one that really kind of annoys me sometimes is when people want all the information right away and they don't want to go and learn it for themselves. It's like trying to give somebody a haircut over the phone, or just bits and pieces to a puzzle and having them try and make their own puzzle without having any idea what it looks like. So send some info and I'll get back to you. The answers to that could be, there's not much I can send. I can break everything down A to Z and you'll get much more from it. Are you free later today or tomorrow? And that provides value. You know, you're still trying to help them out, still trying to do them a favor, but you're not trying to again, give them a haircut over the phone. Another answer could be, if I send you bits and pieces, it'll just confuse you. And that's the truth. I mean, imagine your first time hearing about something like this. It probably didn't make too much sense at first. It's a very, very large opportunity. And we have written here, contact your upline if you encounter a common objection that's not listed. And that kind of ties into what I think is the key to all of this, is practice. You can have all this information. You can have, watch this video years and years later down the road. You can study it left and right. But until you go out there and get some field training for yourself and try it and practice with somebody, it doesn't matter who it is. Practice with your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your uncle. It doesn't matter. You just need to practice. That's what's going to help you get better in the end.
Absolutely. So we'll wrap this up, guys. And for the record, we're not special. We've had a lot of success in network marketing, but it's due to leveraging tools such as this. For the record, again, we literally read most of what we shared with you off of the document, guys, that we've got attached to the website. So make sure that you really take some time to dig into that, familiarize yourself with that, practice with your upline guys, practice with your closest business partners. Get really good at this, and it'll make your life so much easier, guys. It's not what you can do, it's what you can duplicate. Ooh. So after that, being able to teach it, and you'll have a business that will pay you for a very, very long time. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you soon.